free for the first 1 year. They are not charging you. We can practice everything we'll be learning, almost free of charge. Yeah, once in a while you might mistakenly or intentionally go beyond boundaries and they charge you $2, $15. But it's worth it for the training. But for most of the time, all the resources provided, you stick within the limits. Well, in my own case, I already have an account. So it's going to ask me AWS. So I click that, and then it asks me to log in. I say log into my account. So this is AWS. This is cloud. We are not in cloud. All right. So now that we're in cloud, all right. So in cloud now, again, we're not going to the details of cloud right now. All I want to do is set up a virtual machine, put Linux inside the machine, and use the Linux to teach you what Linux is. So in cloud, EC2 is the name of the virtual machine, of the server that we are setting up. So instead of me looking throughout the services, looking for where's EC2, where's EC2, it's a compute application. I'll come here and then instead of all of that, I can just search for it here. EC2. All right. And then I'll see it here. And then once I see it there, I would now say launch an EC2 instance. So I click this, launch an EC2 instance. All right. So my EC2 instance, in other words, my server is launching now in cloud. So the next question it is asking me now is, what operating system do I want to put in the server? Because without an operating system, the server is useless. The server needs an operating system to work. So do you want to put Linux, Amazon Linux, or do you want to put Amazon Linux too? Okay. Do you want to put Mac? In other words, instead of going to buy another laptop, the Mac laptop, you can just create your system here and put Mac directly here. All right. So whatever it is, operating system you want to put Red Hat. By the way, let me quickly explain. Linux. So Linux as an operating system comes Linux. Linux is open source operating system. What does that mean? It means that the codes are readily available publicly. Anybody can go there, take the source code and customize and modify it to whatever they want. So after they have modified it, the original source code, they get a customized Linux from the original, right? That customized Linux from the original is called a distribution, Linux distribution, Linux distro, right? So there are hundreds of distros of Linux. So some of them are, of course, the original. Yeah, you would say like the original one is Red Hat Linux. Everything I'm listing here, they are Linux. Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Ubuntu. These are popular ones. SUSE, Kali. So the list goes on and on. On and on. So all of these, they are all Linux. They are just different variants of the original Linux. So even if I go to the source code now, and I modify one or two things, it's not different from all of this. It's a new kind of Linux. So I could call it Akin Linux. HP will go there, take the original Linux, convert it, add one or two things that is not public and call it HP Linux. Amazon will go there, customize and call it Amazon Linux. Are you getting it? So this is how come we have many varieties called distros of Linux. So most of the time, more than 80% of the time, they are the same. However, our focus here would be on, since we are using Amazon platform, we'll be using Amazon most of the time, but at some later stage in this training, we'll be using Ubuntu, right? So Amazon Linux is exactly the same thing as Red Hat Linux. The commands are the same. All right. So this list of different varieties, different customized versions of Linux, what are they called?
They're called Linux distro?
Yeah, distro. So the full meaning of distro is distribution. So there are different Linux distribution called fine. All right. So now that you know, when you are presented with all of this, you know, you have a sense of direction. Yeah, all the same. Essentially, especially this contracts. So these are the two that we'll be focusing on in this field. Where this one is the same thing as Red Hat. In your resume, you are going to claim that you know Amazon Linux, Red Hat, and Ubuntu because you have used it. All right, so let's go back and use the Amazon. All right, go back to cloud. So we'll take this one. Like I was trying to show you that there are many, all right, many different operating systems. So we'll just stick with this one. This one is free tier, which means you'll not be charged extra if you use this one. So we take that. Good. All right, that's fine. And then this type of, this T2 instance is the word they call computers in cloud, in AWS. So this T2 computer has a one processor and 1 gig. Yeah, that's enough for us. I will not be charged extra. No, because it's free tier. All right, that's fine. So we'll take that and we'll say next. How many virtual machines do we want to spin up? Only one virtual machine. So we'll say one. and then we say next. Here we say next. Here we say next. We want to be able to SSH. Okay. We are going to do this many times. Let me just say next for now, so that I don't overload you too much. Let me do this. So just by saying next, and saying finish, I have chosen that the server that I am spinning up should load Linux, Amazon Linux, right? So it is coming up now. So this is equivalent to going to the market, buying a server, coming back home, installing the hard disk, going to buy Linux operating system, put it on the hard disk, connect it to power, on it, and then connect it to the internet. All of that work. All right. So this is our machine. You want to give us? Let's give it a name. Let's give it Linux machine. That's the name of our server. All right. So it is running now, but it's still coming up. It's still initialized. All right. So now that we have a machine that is running Linux, can we start practicing with Linux? So let us connect to the machine. Okay. So we come here and we say connect, and then we say connect using browser-based SSH using this computer. So we say EC2 instance connect browser-based SSH EC2. We'll come here and we'll say connect. All right. So this is Linux. This is Linux. So everything we'll be learning now, everything we'll start to learn now for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks is all around Linux. This is what we'll be learning, Linux. So now that you are here, what can you do? What and what are possible? So you want to start to learn Linux commands. Where clear is a Linux command. It means clear the screen. That just happened, right? Date is a Linux command, asking what is today's date. February. Well, we'll have to understand how they present their but that's not really it. All right. So we are going to be learning how to use Linux. For how long has this machine been? All right. All right. But before we start to learn Linux commands, I'm going to create another Linux machine. I'll create Linux machine and I'll create server 3 times so that you get used to how to spin up a server with Linux. And that is fundamental before you can come here. But before I do it the second time and then maybe the third time. All right, so let's let me do it all over. Let me close this and start it again. Now, Banker, anytime you spin up, anytime you set up a service in cloud, you know it's in your own account. Right now we have a server running in cloud. The name of the server is Linux Machine. We must shut it down. We must close it. We must terminate it. Otherwise, we'll be charged. The limited credits that they gave us per month, we'll just finish it even before we practice anything. So it's a good practice to always shut down systems that you are not using so that you are. So let us shut down this system. To shut down this system, we'll go to instance, action, instance state, terminate. Yes. Terminate that instance to be terminated. All right. So now that instance is no longer available, it has been terminated. We've killed it. Let us create a new instance. All right. So you say you don't know how I got it. Let's start all over. Let me log out.